All right, what we're getting ready to do is something I don't like to do. But just because I don't like to do it doesn't mean I don't have to do it on a regular basis. So Anna, if you'll kind of shoot right in here, what you'll see is this is an engagement ring with a wedding band, and you can see right through here that it's soldered together. And they want to size it up a half a size, but they want to do it as one ring. In theory, I like to separate the rings, size them separately, put them back together. Sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes the customer wants to do it a different way, and the boss is the person who owns this ring. So, as you can see, I've gone ahead in here already and cut it, and I have a piece of gold that fits that little notch just perfectly, I think. Look at that. But because it's already been, if you look right here, see this line going right across here? This has already been sized up once as like we're doing it now. So we're doing it a second time. So now I want you to listen to something. All right, so I want you to listen. But I'm just going to take this piece of gold in here and pull it out and listen. Hear that little, you could hear the metal spring. That tells me there's a lot of tension on there. And because we already know we have previous work along this seam, along here, along this seam, we're going to take that pressure off. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to slide this ring down, and it doesn't want to move. And let's spin it over because we're working on a taper. There. Now, we're going to take this piece of metal, and now you can see the gap's too big. So that's a good thing. All right, so now I can just come in here and squeeze this. And then here's my piece of metal right here. Anna, see if you can get in there and kind of shoot in here. So now when I put this in here, there is virtually no pressure. I can just move this real easy. So I think that will keep everything from snapping. So now let's solder it in place. All right. Wish me luck, because one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to solder in place correctly, or you're going to see stuff go flying across the room. Here we go. Bring my torch underneath to bring that solder through the joint. All right, that half of the joint went well. Okay, so this right here is the piece I'm soldering in, and I've already soldered it on this side. But now if you'll look here, see this bar that comes all the way across here with this seam right here? So somebody has already done this once, which was kind of what precluded me from doing it the way I'd like to do it, because somebody had already done it this way. It kind of forces you to do it that way again. So now we're going to solder this seam and hope this seam doesn't fly apart on us. All right, wish me luck, because anytime you're soldering next to another solder joint, but that's why I purposely took that pressure off of it. So hopefully that other solder joint, that other solder seam, will just kind of sit there and behave itself. All right, here goes mine. I see it flowing. Let's come in under here. Behave, other solder joint. All right, it looks like we got it. All right, so now it's soldered in place, so let's just start trimming it out. And don't worry about all that gold that's getting thrown into the air. We'll have the cleaning crew come in and take care of that and just sweep it up and throw it in the trash. Okay, now that we've got it nice and blended in, what are we going to do about that line right there? All right, pro tip. Professional tip for the other jewelers. Don't try to do it in one pass. All right, I'm just going to start it on this side. I'm going to start it on this side. And then you can see my gap. So I'm going to kind of lean forward. Then I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to kind of lean forward. Let me see if I can get it in your angle. Then I'm going to turn it over again. And then that way, you get a good straight seam. Now, I'm going to take this little cutoff disc. If you can see, it's just a thin abrasive disc. And I'm just going to follow along that seam and hope I don't slip. Kind of like that. All right, now I'm just going to take a brush mounted on my flex shaft and get down in that seam and see if I can't get a good polish on that seam. Let me turn it where you can see it a little better. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video, and remember, if you don't have a jeweler that you trust or one in your area, you can always send your jewelry to us and we'll repair it, and you may be our next video. We'll put a link in the description of how to do it. Please like and share, and because I told you how much I like to do these kind of rings, look at the next job I'm doing. Dang it, it's the same exact thing.